Continuing on with the idea of dividing a surface into a smaller piece, let's enter polygon mode and select the new clean polygon on the side that we've orbited to. Being at the polygon level in the stack, you've again got the cut command. All you simply have to do is right-click, then access it in the upper left-hand side of the menu. But when wanting a little more precision in dividing a surface, you might choose to use instead a command called tessellate. That'll be found a little further down in the right-hand column. Okay, let's do this. After locating the button, we'll click on it once. Then we'll click away to deselect our geometry. Notice the tessellate has now divided that polygon into 4 smaller, equally sized polys. Let's Ctrl-Z to undo that, then this time we'll click the tessellate button 4 times. Again, click away to see the results. Each time you clicked on tessellate, it evenly divided the geometry one more time. Let's go ahead and undo the operation one time around with Ctrl-Z, then we'll deselect. Okay, now with these additional added polys, let's hold the Control key down, clicking 2 side by side. When selecting polys, if you ever find yourself wanting to either increase or reduce the number of neighboring polys that you have selected, you can use a couple of options in the selection section called Grow and Shrink. You'll find those more toward the top of the menu in the right-hand column. Click on the Grow button a couple times and see what happens. To reduce that area selection, this time let's click on Shrink. Okay, let's go ahead and press undo a couple times to take our poly count on this side down to, let's say, 2 tessellation levels. In plain English, that'll take the polygon count down on this side to 16. Now once we've done that, we'll click away to deselect, then select a single polygon toward the inside. While in polygon mode, we can extrude our poly. Let's try the first time around, clicking on the Extrude button in the Modify column, then positioning our mouse on the polygon. When the cursor changes, we'll simply hold the left mouse down and push away. Let's undo that, then this time access the Extrude command with the right-click menu. It's in the lower left-hand square. Go ahead and activate that, extruding again. And so you know all your options, you could also choose to use the Extrude option box. When you're happy with the height you've changed the extrusion to, go ahead and accept the results. With this polygon now having been pushed out, you can use any of your transformation commands. Moving, scaling, and rotating. Let's go ahead and deselect that poly, then using the Control key, select 4 neighboring polys right next door. Back on the right, let's this time choose the Bevel command. Beveling serves as a kind of combination extrude scale. Let's try that. We'll put our mouse directly on top of our polys, hold down, and we'll push away. When we're happy with the height, we'll let go and pull back to make those polys smaller. Let's cancel that so we can see the options under the right mouse click. Back in the lower left column, directly below Extrude, you'll find Bevel. When beveling, you can also pull back to carve an area out of an object. Let's again cancel that so I can show you what's up with the Bevel option box. Using the option caddy, you now have a special control where you can actually bevel by polygon. Go to the second level down and click on the black arrow. When the menu opens, choose to bevel by polygon. Now, as opposed to beveling our selected polygons as a group, we can bevel them individually. We can change both the height of the bevel and the outline. Again, if wanting to go inside, we'd simply use a negative amount. Let's go ahead and accept the results. While in polygon mode, you also have a command called Inset, which, like many of the others, can be found both in the right-hand column or under the right mouse click. Selecting a poly and pulling it back will create a brand new poly, scaling it inside the original one. With that newly created area, let's go ahead and extrude that in. If ever wanting to quickly smooth a particular area by adding additional detail, the editable poly has an option called M-Smooth. Let's go back into the Modify column on the right, locating the command. Once you find the button, go ahead and click on it twice. That's pretty nice how it's added in the additional detail. Now, an even cooler way to work when wanting an extra level of smoothing is to use something on the editable poly called Subdivision Surfaces. Let's deselect what we might have selected, pulling back to center our view. This time, over in the Modify column, we'll position our mouse in that area, then right-click. This opens a menu showing all the different sections or categories in the column. Down about 3/4 of the way, let's click where it says Subdivision Surface. Okay, to activate, we're going to want to specifically check a box. It's called Use NURMS Subdivision. Now before we start, back on the right under Display, let's go ahead and add one iteration. Now be careful, you don't want to take this number too high as it substantially increases the amount of detail in your geometry. Okay, let's orbit to another side and see if we can extrude something. I'll activate the Extrude command by right-clicking, then push the surface up. Now look how that looks different when using the subdivision surfaces. Let's also try beveling a few things. I'll select my area to work on, then again right-click to bevel. Once you've done that, to increase the level of detail one more level, back in iterations, we'll go to 3. Now again, you got to be real careful with the number of iterations that you use. Going too high will crash your computer. Let's go ahead now and deselect and we'll orbit around. Okay, before we wrap things up here, I want to show you one more thing that Max introduced to the program a couple versions back called the Graphite Modeling Ribbon. It gives you pretty much the same modeling commands as we've been working with here, but it positions them in the interface in a way that many modelers think are a little bit easier to access. Let me show you how the modeling ribbon works. Up on the toolbar, we'll first activate it on the right-hand side. There's a couple different modes that you can use while working. Up toward the left-hand sides where it says Graphite Modeling Tools, you actually have a button that'll turn on and off our command panel. This, if chosen to use, would simply give you a little more real estate within your window. A little further to the left of that button, you have all your selection modes. Here's your edge commands, the ones that allow you to work on the vertices, and the ones that allow you to manipulate the polys. Okay, that'll give you a whole bunch of things that you can now experiment with. That's going to take a little practice and certainly some trial and error, but you get those 3D sub-object commands down and you'll be on your way to being able to create pretty much anything your imagination can dream up. I'm going to go ahead and save this out as 3D sub-object commands completed if you'd like to look it over.